Om Om Param Tattvaya Narayanaya Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Krim Krim Bhutanataya Namaha. Om Em Klim Klim Divya Chetananandaya Namaha. Om Hlim Bagle Parameshwari Hlim Om Swaha. Jai Gurudev, Jai Siddhashram. Today I thought I could share some of my experiences and the changes in my life that I experienced when I came in contact with my Gurudev, Swami Divya Chetananandji Maharaj. I went through a phase in life where I had achieved a certain amount of material success, but at the cost of a lot of peace of mind. There are a lot of demands that modern life makes upon us, and life seemed to be a constant struggle between balancing family life and the demands of a career and a job, as well as other social relationships, at the cost of being happy. And somewhere deep down, I did not really feel truly at peace or satisfied with what I was doing. Life was a constant struggle of balance with very high demands of time and very little time to truly enjoy whatever success we got. It was at that time that I felt there was a vacuum inside, and I wanted to turn to a more spiritual path, looking for answers there which I could not find in the material world. I turned to spirituality. As most people do, I picked up some books. I recited various shlokas, I read the Bhagavad Gita, I read various translations, I listened to lectures by various gurus. But I really couldn't find somewhere or some person that I could follow who would truly understand the place I was from. Most of the gurus were sannyasis. They preached the path of Vedanta. And what could not convince me was that we had to leave everything that was material and only concentrate on a spiritual life, accepting whatever karma came to us while working towards a spiritual goal. And it is very easy to say do karma while renouncing or even thinking about the fruits that come from there, and it's very difficult to actually comprehend or even try to do something like that. I felt I needed a guru who I could really relate to, who could understand where I was coming from, what vacuum I was feeling, and try to fill it up. Also, as happens sometimes when we start upon this path of spirituality, somewhere things actually get shaken up and we experience a lot of negative karma. I experienced this, and I have heard about this through many other disciples who have encountered this. So there were a lot of issues that came. The more I dwelt into sadhana, the more hours I put it, there was disturbance in the family because they felt that this was time that was being taken away from them. I felt that I was in some way letting them down. I also felt there were many more issues that came up on the material side, both in terms of the career, the jobs, the obstacles I faced, as well as financially also, which was not there before I started. And it really perplexed me as to why things should get worse instead of better. At that time, I reached out to Sampath because I knew he had a guru, and Sampath is an old, very close friend of mine, and that is how Sampath actually put me in touch with Guruji. When I met Guruji, at first he just gave me a few mantras to start with. I used to do a few malas. Initially, I didn't really see much change, but gradually I felt a little bit more at peace. And then there have been, across the years, several, I would not like to call them coincidences, they were more like miraculous events that happened. For example, I had gone to an ashram for a group meditation on Ganesh, and when I was driving back home, I called Guruji and he told me Ganesh is really happy with you today. And I was taken aback because I had not discussed with him where I had gone, what I had done. And I was like, I am sitting here in the US and he is there in India, and how would he know? There have been many such occasions, and it slowly began to dawn on me that Guruji knows everything that was happening in my life. And at one point of time, I realized that the simplicity with which he conducts himself is actually a sign of his greatness. I have heard him giving a pravachan on a topic where there were things related to me and mistakes that I have done in the past, and he just looked at me and started addressing that. And then I realized he knows that too. And gradually, I came to realize that it was my huge good fortune to have come across a veritable giant in the field of spirituality. This was someone I could relate to, who had no need to try to impress others, who in his very simplicity showed his greatness. He was a true guru who I could turn to, who knew all the challenges in the material world, who knew how to lead by example, because he had done that, overcome all the challenges, and he was the epitome of someone who had perfected both the material world and the spiritual world. And I realized that this was what I had been searching for, definitely in this life, but probably in countless other lifetimes, and how truly fortunate I was to have come across my Gurudev. It is, I think, the aim which all of us, when we take birth, want to do. And in my opinion, you cannot lead a perfect spiritual life if you have not mastered the art of living a perfect material life. This delicate balance between the two and the ability to do this only comes at the feet of a great guru like my Guruji. Today, when I look back at approximately a decade with which I have moved with him, where I have learnt various sadhanas which I have put into practice, I have benefited immensely from the oceans of wisdom that just flow through him to us, with all the pravachans he gives, with his tireless efforts to try to expand our spiritual horizons. I realize that I am at last in a place where I am in perfect peace, where I am internally totally happy, and where I feel totally protected at all times, irrespective of what life throws at me. I know that it doesn't really have the power to touch me. There have been so many occasions in the past few years where I should have lost my job, where so many things should have happened, but just miraculously at the last time, because of his grace, things turned. And today I live far, far away from him in miles. I have the good fortune to be with him maybe once or twice a year at the best, but I am always with him, because deep down in my heart he is there, so is the Divine Mother, and I am always surrounded with their grace. And this, I think, is what we strive for countless lifetimes to achieve. Jai Gurudev.